Welcome. I've had conservatives not understand why I would want to open up dialogue with liberals, and liberals who see my invitations as a trap. So I want to explain my rationale. You've heard the expression divide and conquer. Isn't it curious to anyone that our nation is so evenly divided? Is this by design? If so, I don't want to play the game. Is the U.S. government really in control? Are they dictated to and even manipulated for some hidden agenda? Now, I've never been prone to conspiratorial illusions. Nevertheless, to ignore ironic, even causative events that shape our world and policies is worthy of consideration. If a group were interested in ruling the world, would they act in the forefront of public scrutiny or act behind the scenes, unfettered and beyond reproach? We've all heard phrases like control the purse strings and control everything. Money makes the world go round. Money is power. So I want to take you for a walk through history, studying a variety of powerful people who have come together for reasons more than tea and crumpets. However, please research these groups yourself and come to your own conclusions, because I offer no conclusions. In 1913, the Federal Reserve Act was passed, creating an agency that controls, prints, and loans money to the U.S. government, with interest, mind you. Its singular purpose is to create debt. Debt equals slavery. The Council on Foreign Relations, the CFR, was founded in 1931, and at the outset, founding member Elihu Root said the group's mission should be to guide American public opinion. Like progressive and conservative thought? They are also known as the Power Elite, a group of men shaping events from invulnerable positions behind the scenes. Anyone for a game of Risk? In 1954, the Bilderberg Group was found, a yearly get-together of the world's most powerful, influential people. Some, like the John Birch Society and radio host Alex Jones, believe their goal is the dissolution of American sovereignty by developing a Euro-like union combining Canada, America, and Mexico. It did happen in Europe. In 1973, David Rockefeller organized the Trilateral Commission. The Group of Rome issued a report entitled The Regionalized and Adaptive Model of the Global World System. In November of 1977, Craig S. Carpel wrote an article called Cartergate, The Death of Democracy. The presidency of the United States and key cabinet departments have been taken over by a private organization dedicated to the subordination of the domestic interests of the United States to international interests of the multinational banks and corporations. It would be unfair to say that the Trilateral Commission dominates the Carter administration. The Trilateral Commission is the Carter administration. To be fair to Carter, a close read of the many members of the Trilateral Commission today reads like a who's who in American politics on both sides of the aisle. In 1995, the World Trade Organization was formed by the UN. Is it any wonder our industrial base, our steel mills, many of our natural resources have been shipped overseas for the last 30 years? In 2002, the FDA approved the VeriChip microchip implant. This chip aroused people's fears of a future totalitarian government that could enforce the implementation of these chips, much like vaccines are today. In 2004, a project organized by the Council on Foreign Relations called the North American Union, which would eradicate the U.S. dollar in place of the Amero. According to many, the Amero has already been printed, as you see here. In 2007, President Bush signed into effect the Homeland Security Directive, which grants the president broad powers during national emergency without the checks and balances, as is written in our Constitution. Research the Rothschild banking dynasty, the Rockefellers, and see a pattern of control and domination of other nations through controlling the money supply. How many wars have been started by these groups? Pure speculation. Only a small handful of nations do not have these central banks in them today. Ironically, Iraq has a central bank in it. Are we headed towards a one-world order? Are we headed into a dissolved America? Can national dependence cause America to lose her sovereignty? Or are we already there and just don't know it? There are some powerful forces in the world today, forces working together for common goals behind the scenes. So we can debate till we are all blue in the face while some stand by and gleefully acknowledge their success in making us take our eyes off the ball. So I've made a decision, and I'm simply not going to play. There has never been a more important time in our history to stand together as Americans. If we don't stand together, America will cease to be what we have known her to be for the last 200 years.